What's up, everyone? Today, because I'm kind of like introducing another video, or I'll just keep talking. Doesn't matter. Um,
All right.
all right, guys. So now we're gonna be going over the best player from every MLB team. Uh, Ben, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You got your takes ready. You got your list.
I got my big list
All right,
ready.
we're gonna go alphabetical by city. Hopefully, if it's not in the right order, then I'll just go first, just so you get a head start. But I
All right.
gotta I gotta pull I gotta pull the stats up because
Thank you.
basically my system is I got the stats, and then when you're talking about your guy, I pull up the stats for the next guy. So first guy, I'm starting it off with a bang.
Oh,
I'm starting off with a big hot take. Best player, Arizona Diamondbacks, is Zach Gallen. It's
yo.
not Ketel Marte. I gotta say it, man.
Thank
Um,
you.
Zach Gallen, he's been so good, and he still has so much to show. 2.75 ERA, career 2.78, and he's super young still. He's 25. He came up towards the end of last year and balled out this year. I think he's an ace, man. He's got super fun to watch pitch. I remember when the Mets played him. I'm like, damn, this dude's special, man.
Yeah, he's gonna
So
be good.
yep, Zach, get on the Zach Gallen train. Got him on fantasy. Did well for me. I ended up trading him for Tatis, but yeah, Zach Gallen. I think Ketel Marte. It seems like the obvious guy to pick, but I'm giving the edge to Zach Gallen just because Ketel Marte's had that one monster year and has had some other bad years. I think Zach Gallen is just always been so good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. After Ketel Marte's 730 OPS last year,
Also,
his rookie.
before his breakout year, he wasn't good before that. Like he had a couple
Yeah, it's
bad years too, with I think
a little one-year
Seattle.
wonder.
Yeah. Which I'm not saying he's a bad player. I don't think he is a 1 year wonder, but I think right now I'd give the edge to Zach Gallen.
Oh, for sure. The spin
Uh,
rate's insane. He's gonna be great for a while.
yeah, man. So Atlanta Braves. I think this is before there was always a discussion. I would always lean to this side. A lot of people said Acuna, but I've always said Freddie Freeman, and I think that his season this year really proves that. Now he wasn't very good against the Mets. We beat him with the shift a lot, which I was surprised about. But 1.102 OPS I think is all I have to say.
Yeah.
Like phenomenal. We were just talking about him being a potential Hall of Famer. I'm guessing that's who you picked.
Yeah, but I do want to give some honorable mention shout outs to Acuna, Ozuna, and Max Fried
Yeah,
for each having insane seasons.
yeah, they definitely. And we'll give. I say we give honorable mentions. Arizona Diamondbacks. I think the guys who could compete for that: Ketel Marte, Eduardo Escobar.
Hmm.
Both who had the whole offense kind of had a down year, but yeah. Baltimore Orioles. I went with Trey Mancini. It looks
Yeah.
like he's fully recovered from cancer, so that's awesome to
Woohoo!
hear. Um, congrats to him about that. On a shit team, he's always stood out. And in 2019, he had an 899 OPS. You just don't hear
Wow.
about. I feel like he's well known now because people are like, "Wow, the Orioles got someone." So, yeah, I think honorable mention I'd give to Ryan Mountcastle. I talk about him being underrated. I think he can be a very good player in the future. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Trey Mancini. Who you got?
All right. I went with Anthony Santander
Ooh,
because, yeah, he didn't qualify for ABs, kind of like Ryan Mountcastle. He's still amassed for 160, though. And he was by far the most productive piece of the Orioles offense last year and was actually really good. Almost got that 900 OPS, similar to
yeah.
Trey
I'm looking at his
Mancini.
stats right now. 890. That's real good.
Yep, yep. I also want to give an honorable mention to Ryan Mountcastle. I didn't take into fact Trey Mancini for this year because he didn't really
Yeah,
play.
he didn't.
So
He didn't play at all. Yeah,
yeah, so in the future, I think all three of them are going to be kind of at the top of the Orioles lineup.
you
They
should trade
can,
Mancini. You get a ton back
yeah, I
for
mean,
him.
little trade.
Yeah, you get a shit ton back for him. And you put him as actual. He's not a very good outfielder because he's kind of a first baseman, and Ryan Mountcastle's a first baseman. So, but you also got the DH. Obviously, you let Nunez go, so you can kind of get those two guys in there. So yeah, Boston Red Sox. It used to be the easiest pick in the world until they traded Mookie Betts. At first, I thought
Doodles.
J. At first, I thought JD Martinez. Then I looked at his numbers from last year. I was like, oh shit, no.
Yeah,
Um,
like what the fuck
which
happened?
especially for DH who can't play the field. Um, so Xander Bogaerts is my pick. one of the most consistent players in the league. Now defensively he's really bad, but he
Yeah.
hits so well. Career 805 OPS, and he's been super underrated for a while. 300 batting average this past year, 867 OPS. He's probably their best player. Chris Sale, but could be up there. Just he hasn't pitched in a year, so I don't really know how he's going to bounce back from Tommy John. But
And he didn't pitch good in
he didn't pitch good in
2019.
2019
Above,
either. Yeah,
he was
so I know
above average, but he wasn't necessarily
he was
good.
hurt a bit too. I think so. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
giving it to Xander Bogaerts.
I also went with Xander because he led Boston in slugging percentage, OPS, home runs, and stolen bases.
Cool. White
Yeah.
Sox, we talked about this. It's pretty easy. There's a lot of guys to pick, a lot of great players all of a sudden, which crazy to say because White Sox for a while have been terrible, but it's obviously Jose Abreu. For the same reasons he won the MVP, justified. No offense, Ben. And
Oh, don't worry, I got something cooking.
yeah, and 370 on base percentage is very good. 987 OPS, phenomenal year, and he started fielding too, fielding
Oh,
very
yeah.
well. So
Hmm.
yeah, Jose Abreu, which I don't know if are they going to keep him at first base or are they going to move him to DH when they got that stud first baseman prospect who's coming up, Andrew Vaughn. They'll
Oh,
probably
Andrew
they'll
Vaughn.
probably
I
put
think
him
Andrew
in.
Vaughn's going to be DH.
Yeah, they'll probably mix the two up, rest guys, kind of like what the Mets do with, or Mets
I don't
will
know.
would
After
do.
Abreu had such a breakout with the
Well,
glove,
you
I
also
think
want to rest days and like you don't want to you
that,
don't
yeah, that's true.
you can't really develop a young player by DHing him every day.
That's what Mountcastle did.
Yeah, that's fair. Um,
I mean, we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see.
anything else?
Oh, yeah. One thing worth noting, his OPS was lower than all of the names I shall list right now. Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, Marcelo Zuna, DJ LeMahieu, Jose Ramirez, Mike Trout, Dominic Smith, Nelson Cruz, and
Hey, let's
Ronald Acuna
go.
Jr. Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, so half
Uh,
those guys play in the National Leagues. It's a stupid argument.
well, we also have to
Guys
take
like
into mind that both other MVP candidates were on that list, and Mike Trout.
yeah, I think he won it fair and square. But all right.
I would say
Next, oh, honorable
not to
mentions.
shit on Jose
Got
Abreu. You're a great player. I
yeah.
respect you, but
Honorable
should
mentions
have
could
won.
be guys like Lucas Giolito, Yasmani Grandal, even off a down year. Yohan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, a ton of awesome players on that team.
I love the White
Tim
Sox.
Tim Anderson, yeah. So yeah, this next team had pretty much everyone underperformed. So I kind of went far in the past. I think with the Cubs, I think I'm gonna go Chris Bryant just because he's won an MVP before. Javier Baez, he comes to
Oh
mind.
my
Anthony
god,
Rizzo, but Javi Baez had a down year too, and also like, his
worst year of any hitter. He had the worst year.
yeah, he strikes out a ton too. So I think I think Chris Bryant is a very good player, and think he's gonna be. I think he's probably gonna get traded. But
Hmm.
it was hard to pick because there's so many guys who really underperformed. Maybe you Darvish, but he after before this year he hadn't been good for a little bit. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it to Chris Bryant's got that MVP, so I'm gonna give it to him.
All right, I'm gonna go with Anthony Rizzo
I
because,
thought
as you
about
said,
him, but yeah,
he was still above average. I mean, he wasn't good. He didn't hit for any average, I should say, but he was
right,
still walking a lot and still was above average overall.
yeah, great first baseman too.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle Hendricks though, because
Oh, of
every
course,
year,
you love that
every
guy,
year.
yeah. All right, Cincinnati Reds, super underrated player here, Sonny Gray. Well, actually, no. Do you want to include players that were on the team last year?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
definitely.
So Trevor Bauer. Never mind. Trevor Bauer.
All right.
Sonny Gray will probably, if they end up keeping him, he'll probably be. But obviously, Trevor Bauer won the Cy Young. Even as a Mets fan, he did it very much fairly. I don't care about his competition. Those numbers are disgusting. Um, Now DeGrom should have come in second, no doubt about it. But uh, we're both being salty about our favorite players not winning the awards. But uh, 1.73 ERA, 0.79 WHIP, just disgusting. I want him to be a Met not only because of team need, but dude, I want to see his vlogs in a Mets uniform.
Oh, for
Like you
real.
see the behind the scenes at City Field, like man, That would be awesome. But yeah, Trevor Bauer.
Yep. I mean, there's really not much to say other than Trevor Bauer here, but a quick shout out to the Reds offense for their highest qualified hitter, having a 226 batting average.
Who is?
Joey Votto.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Man.
he led the team.
Wow. Because I like their offense a lot. Especially they were hot at the beginning, guys like Castellanos, but they cooled off quick. Or that
So quick.
they had a rough kind of middle of the season. But dude, I want to see what they have. I want to see what because they got really hot towards the end of the year. I thought they were my dark horse World Series pick, to be honest. Because
Oh, same. I
look at the
had them going to the.
Nationals. I'm not ashamed to say it. Look at the Nationals. Their offense wasn't amazing, but they had the big three rotation. The Reds had the big three rotation too. So
Plus a much better offense.
not much better just because you had Juan Soto and Anthony Rendon for the Nationals, and also like Howie Kendrick at the time was playing amazing.
Oh, I was talking about coming into this year.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about like when the Nationals made the World Series or
Oh,
won the
no,
World
no. I
Series.
meant
Yeah.
for 2020. I thought the Reds were my dark horse.
Oh, same. Yeah, no, same. I compared them to the Nationals the year before.
Oh, okay. I thought you were comparing them this year. My bad.
No. All right, moving on to the Cleveland Indians. Two players come into mind, or three players come to mind here. I went with Francisco Lindor just because he's been doing it for so long. I think this one's tough because you obviously got J-Ram, but you also got Shane Bieber. He was phenomenal. I think he might be a top 5 pitcher at this point. I usually like to give guys a few years, but he's probably a top 5 pitcher in the game. But I Francisco Lindor, who's probably not going to be on the team next year, slightly edges the rest of them out. But it's almost like a 3-way tie, to be honest.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I
So
don't agree with that
I
at
know you
all.
don't.
I mean, next time Francisco Lindor wins a triple crown, you can hit me up. Shane Bieber just won a fucking triple crown,
I know,
which
dude.
hasn't been done.
Lindor's been playing for what, 5 years? Bieber for like 2.
Oh, well, still, he was the All-Star Game MVP.
That's true. You're kind of convincing me to go the other way.
And let's not forget Lindor with the 750 OPS on the dot. It doesn't really look like too much of a
Yeah, you're
comparison right
definitely
now.
convincing me, but it's almost like a 3-way tie, honestly.
Yeah, I can
And
definitely see
J
the
Ram
case.
was phenomenal too.
J Ram was insane.
So moving on to the Rockies, this is almost like a 2-way tie. Nolan Arenado and my boy Trevor Story. Also, if the Mets trade for Nolan Arenado, they got to sign Trevor Story the next offseason. Man,
Bring him back. Bring him back.
boys, the Mile High Boys. But yeah, Nolan
Mile high.
Arenado. We talked about him earlier, but he's just. I know people say, "Oh, he doesn't hit as good on the road." No one hits as good on the road unless you're playing Tampa or Detroit. But probably top 3 defender overall, regardless of position in the game. He's been super consistent too. Somehow hasn't won an MVP. 890 career OPS. He had, I guess, a down year this year.
Wow.
A lot of players had a down year. What was kind of rough with him this year was a 303 on base percentage. That's not great, but I
No.
don't think it's really saying he's a bad player. A lot of guys had down years in 2020. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, I also went with Nolan Arenado for those, same reasons. Nothing much to say there. Shout out Trevor Story and Charlie Blackmon, but
Well,
yeah.
Charlie Blackmon's he's good, but he's not. I don't
I
think he
mean, as a
compares to
hitter, not as a player
Yeah, but I
overall.
don't think he was up for Gold Glove.
Oh my God, he was. My
Yeah,
God. No way.
but I think he's a very good player. I don't think he can compare to those other two.
No.
Moving on to this one was tough. Tigers. I went with a pretty underrated pick. So a lot of before this year, people told me that Matthew Boyd was good. He was horrific. Dude couldn't even pitch in Detroit for crying out loud. I went with another pitcher.
And he's a home run pitcher. That's what kills him. He gives up a
gives up home
million
runs in Detroit.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. So I went with another starting pitcher though. I went with Spencer Turnbull. I said he was super underrated. 3.97 ERA, nothing great, but this team sucks. They're so bad.
Yeah.
I actually think their future's decently bright because they got some prospects, but
Casey
I
Mize,
think Casey
Skubal,
Mize,
and
Spencer Torkelson, Tarek Skubal, like guys like that. But right now, their
there's
major
one more
league team,
pitcher, Matt Manning.
right, right now their major league team is really bad. But eventually, I think you know that's why I'd pick Spencer Turnbull. I'm not saying he's terrible. Another guy I thought about going was like I don't know, like Buck Farmer, one of their relievers. But yeah, a lot of
It's my favorite name of all time.
Buck Farmer. Yeah, but their team is just awful. I
Yeah.
know their second one. I forgot who his name was. Their second baseman had a good year, but that's kind of
Jeimer
weird.
Candelario.
Yeah, so I'm
Or
going.
no, you must be thinking of Scope.
No, no, no. I'm talking about Candelario.
All right.
Scope's a free
Well,
agent, but
that's a good segue because that was my pick.
yeah, I assume you're pretty high on him. I assumed you were gonna pick him.
Yeah, he just led Detroit in most offensive categories.
Which isn't saying much.
No, but I mean, we're picking
Yeah,
the
he had a
best
good
player
year.
on the
Yeah, he had a
team.
good year. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been so inconsistent with throughout his career. That's why I
Hmm.
kind of avoid him because this obviously isn't just 2020. This is taking in mind recent
Yeah.
stuff,
He's still
career.
young.
Yeah.
Switch
Uh,
hitter. I like switch hitters.
yeah. Who doesn't? Well, unless they can't switch hit. Ozzy Albies, G-Man Choi. Well, he actually G-Man Choi gave up switch hitting.
Yeah, I
But
know. I was so upset. Like, this man is going to retire with a 500 batting average and a fucking, like, 2,500 slugging percentage. Hall of Famer?
yeah, because he all the Rays players who are like offensive players who are good, their numbers are inflated because they play matchups like they platoon.
Hmm.
So you look at like their splits versus lefties, it's like Mike Brasso's splits versus righties. Uh,
Oh.
zero average, zero plate appearances. Like, um, so moving on to the Houston Astros, the Asterix. This one was tough because there's some good players, but there's also players who kind of like usually who I'd consider their best player was terrible last year.
Hmm.
But I went with Alex Bregman. George Springer maybe, but Alex Bregman he's come in second for MVP before. I really liked Alex Bregman before all this shit came out, and he's I don't like it. His cockiness now. It isn't. I didn't hate it at
It's the
first,
wrong
but
cockiness
yeah,
now.
it's now the wrong cockiness. And shout out to Fuzzy. I know there's no face cam here, but I'm putting like my fingers together. I don't know if you remember his apology. He had like his fingertips together. It was really weird. He was like, I'd like to, and like moving his hands, like, I'd like to apologize. Dude, Fuzzy made this video. It was like the Astros apologies, like, today I'd like to say, and then they look down at the paper, sorry. It was hilarious. But Alex Bregman, not really a down year, but compared to like his 2019, which was incredible. Um,
Yeah.
but this year, while stats pull up, 801 OPS, pretty good. Career 902 OPS is phenomenal.
I
His
wonder
20,
why.
yeah, his 2019 was so good though, and I know they're probably it's not 100% if they were cheating. I guarantee you they were cheating a bit. I think I
Yeah, because
believe the
this man
buzzers.
had like his on base to on batting average was over 127 points. That
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Also, like he struck out way less than he walked, which is almost
Hmm.
unheard of. You
Yeah,
know, I definitely think they cheated in 29. I think I believe in the buzzers, and
believe in the buzzers.
yeah, but yeah, I still think Bregman's a good player. I just want to see another year of him playing clean. A
Hmm.
guy like George Springer, I'd consider. Verlander's a great player, but he's gonna be out this year with Tommy John. You don't even know if
Yeah.
he's ever gonna pitch again. To be honest, with his old age. So yeah, Alex Bregman
He's one of the very few Astros players that I
that
want to
you
see play
like.
before the
Yeah,
day I die.
yeah. Honorable mentions go to Springer, Michael Brantley, Tatuve, um,
Tatuve.
and Correa. As much as I hate him, and Zach Greinke's good too. And
Thank God.
my boy Ryan Presley too. He's one of my favorite players to watch because his curveball's so good. That spin rate.
That is, oh my God.
Yeah. Who's your pick?
I went with George Springer because he was really like the only one that didn't have a down year on the offensive side.
That's true. That's very true.
So I mean that kind of just proves his legitimacy, I'd say.
He's also phenomenal in the playoffs.
Yes, that's another thing. Uh, but shout out to Christian Javier, one of the
Oh yeah,
guys you didn't mention. He took third in Rookie of the Year voting, but
right.
he and Framber Valdez are going to be rotation buddies for a long time, and they look good.
Yeah, man. All right, moving on to the Kansas City Royals. There's a few guys to pick, but I went with Whit Merrifield.
Mhm.
Um, just a really solid player. He can play second base. He can play center field. Excuse me, right field. And I pull up his numbers here. He also steals bases, which I don't think he will. Won't steal as many. He's getting up there in age,
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
getting
a
real
late
up there.
bloomer. But
Mhm.
I'm pulling up his numbers right now. So he,
764 OPS, if I remember correctly.
which a lot of it is because he doesn't really, walk a ton. He only has a 325 on base, but 9 home runs, and he plays in a lineup with like little to no protection. I thought about Salvador Perez, but he's never been as good as he was this past year. He's always been more of a defense guy. He obviously missed 2019. Hunter
Mhm.
Dozier's a good hitter. He can't field. And Jorge Soler's extremely overrated. So I went with Merrifield.
I went with Salvador Perez because Whit Merrifield had a down year. Loved the versatility, but he was just not the best player in 2020.
Also, the Royals' future pitching staff is going to be good, to be
Oh
honest.
my God. Oh man.
Asa Lacy, Brad Keller, Chris Bubik. What's the other? I was
Boobish.
uh, Brady Singer,
Yeah, singer.
University of Florida Gator. Let's go. Um, all right, moving on to the easiest pick of the video. The best player here. We gotta get a drum roll for this. Best player on the Angels is David Fletcher. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
It's obviously Mike Trout. Um, Next, Mookie Betts for the Dodgers. Next, I don't think we even need to have to say anything.
Yeah. Dodgers, I mean, I
Like
guess you could
Bellinger,
make I don't I yeah, that's so tough because like
both have won
there's so many.
MVP. But like Mookie Betts,
Yeah.
his MVP, he ran away with it.
Hmm.
Uh, Bellinger's MVP, I honestly think Yelich would have won it if he didn't get hurt at the end of the year.
Yelich should have won,
I
even
think,
with
yeah,
the injury.
better hitter, yeah. Yeah. Bellinger occasionally just goes cold, but both phenomenal fielders, both great hitters. I would give the edge to Mookie Betts. I think he's the second best player in the game, dude.
Yeah.
It's their outfield's unfair, man.
Oh my God.
They literally we've talked about this. They have 3 center fielders playing out there. That's like their defense is just so good.
Hmm.
So yeah, do you have anything to say?
No.
Yeah. Marlins, this was an interesting pick. There were a few guys originally I thought maybe, Starling Marte, which we all know how much you love him. What's his
No,
name?
I don't dislike him. I just don't think he's that good.
Sandy Alcantara. I thought about him, but I wanted Brian Anderson.
Nice,
He's been
nice.
good for a while, man. He had an 810
Mm-hmm.
OPS. He's been just pretty under the radar, but 345 on base, not amazing, but not bad. And he plays a decent third base. He can also play right field.
Oh, his glove is insane.
Bazooka arm too. His arm's ridiculous. But
Hmm.
I I get to see this guy play a lot. Obviously, as a Mets fan. And it looks like they're starting to kind of build around him a bit more and get some talent around him. So yeah, Brian Anderson, pretty underrated player.
Yeah, definitely Brian Anderson for me as well. However, I do think Sixto Sanchez
Oh,
will
he
take
will
over
be.
the
He
team.
will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year and onward.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the Brewers. I went with Christian Yelich mainly because he's like even after a down year, he's still a phenomenal player, and
Yeah.
also he just like the Brewers were just offensively, especially, were really bad,
Hmm.
but like they're not the greatest team. Who else could you think of? Brandon Woodruff. Oh, Josh Hader obviously comes to mind. Maybe
Corbin
Lorenzo.
Burns,
Yeah, Corbin Burns, Lorenzo Kane when he's playing well.
or
But
just playing in
Keston,
general.
yeah, Keston Hira. Well, he had a down 2019, but 2018 he was phenomenal.
Hmm.
But he still has so much value with his glove. Heston Kira, who's kind of the opposite, great hitter, no glove. But
Yeah,
I think it's pretty easily Christian Yelich, even after a down year.
yeah.
Which
I
he had
do.
a 786 OPS. Like a lot of his numbers were from how bad he was at the beginning of the year. But I would go with Christian Yelich.
Hmm. I do want to say though, Corbin Burns. does look like he is going to be a superstar for at least the next 6, 7 years.
Nice.
Like,
How old is he?
he's pretty young. I'm pretty sure he's 26, maybe
Oh, nice.
25. Either way, though, like advanced stats love this man, and they usually don't lie. So I
Speaking of
think,
age, for my next pick in the Minnesota Twins, this dude's
oh man,
40. Nelson Cruz, man, they got a good team, but like maybe you could think Josh Donaldson definitely comes to mind just because he also has the value with his glove.
hmm
But at 992 OPS at 40
oh my
with
god,
freaking 16 home runs. Like I know he doesn't have any, value outside of hitting, but that's the most important part of the game. And the dude hits like bananas. So yeah,
yeah,
Nelson Cruz.
this man is legit David Ortiz
So
2.0.
who's your pick, Mitch Garver?
Oh, of course. I really like Mitch Garver's defense. His glove was outstanding. It was a breakout season for him last year.
Oh, don't even
He
get
was
started
hitting
on his hitting.
well. He's a defense first catcher.
Oh, for sure. He's like Jeff Mathis.
Yes, yes. He is basically Jeff Mathis caliber.
Yo, I know we all have our player. We both have a player on the Twins that both of us think is like super overrated. We're not very high on. Like yours is Mitch Garver, mine's is Jose Barrios. Just
Yeah.
because he's made all-star teams doesn't make him particularly great.
Yeah, he had a 4.0 last year.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm assuming you went with. Being serious, I assumed you went with Nelson Cruz too.
Oh, of course. No discussion.
All right.
Actually, no, there is a
Oh yeah.
discussion.
Who?
I really want to talk about Kenta Maeda because I love pitching with a passion, and this man is very fun to watch. Nelson Cruz, I give the edge to, but I love you, Kenta Maeda.
Yeah. Also, I'm a big Byron Buxton guy too. He really broke out
Oh,
last
love
year.
Byron.
So yeah, when he's playing well, I also think Max Kepler is a very good player. They
Yeah, yeah.
obviously freaking non-tendered released Eddie Rosario for some fucking reason, um, but Nelson Cruz, yeah. All right, time to get juicy. We're gonna have this one's gonna be fun. New York Yankees. My pick is actually I went with Garrett Cole because
Uh,
at his very best, he's phenomenal. The only two other guys who come to mind are Aaron Judge and DJ LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu, I was tempted to put, but
mhm.
Garrett Cole's younger. I think he was, for some reason didn't win the Cy Young in 2019. They get to Verlander, which it was close, but I would have given it to Cole. He had that
Oh
like
yeah,
stretch
definitely.
like where he didn't lose a game and like barely gave a run, dude.
25 starts.
Yeah, dude, he was ridiculous that year. And Aaron Judge is never on the field, which I know I exaggerate his level of injuries, but the fact that he gets hurt for long periods of time every season,
hmm
and he hasn't played that many seasons, and so the fact the majority of them have been injury plagued, that's why I'd give to Garrett Cole. I'm guessing you went LeMahieu, but
Yeah, Aaron Judge is not even in the discussion for me. When he's on the field, yes, he's a captain, but I mean,
he's not
what
on
good
the
is a
field.
cap? Yeah, what good is a captain
Your
if he's
best
never on the
ability
field?
is your availability.
Oh, I like that. I really
You've
like
never
that.
heard that saying before? That's like a popular saying in sports.
Really, I've never heard that.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Well, now you know.
I
Now,
must open up my ears a bit
yeah.
better then.
Now every time I mention Aaron Judge, it's gonna be like the best ability is availability.
I swear that's gonna get old real quick.
Oh, it
But
is.
yeah, I went with DJ because as you probably know by now, if you follow Big Apple Baseball
Well, that
Banter on
banter.
Instagram, you would know that DJ LeMahieu was snubbed of the MVP last year and is quite possibly the greatest player in baseball history.
I'm gonna take that soundbite and I'm gonna like I have like my keyboard right here. I'm gonna set up like where I press a key, it says a bunch of stuff. You know how you're talking baseball has like the passing button and stuff. Whenever you
Yeah.
say DJ LeMahieu, I'm gonna play that. It's gonna be like DJ LeMahieu is the greatest player in baseball history. That's gonna be. I need to remember to do that. All right,
Oh
New
my
York
God,
Mets.
please
This one's
do.
pretty easy. Jacob DeGrom, best pitcher in baseball. His 2018 was one of the best seasons of all time. He had like a 1.8 ERA. I
One
know his
seven.
1.7. Yeah, I know his win loss record is not hasn't always been good, but
That
that's
sucks,
yeah,
Boomer.
but that yeah win loss record is stupid. He's the best pitcher in baseball. I don't think there's an argument for that. Garrett called my ass. Even though I
Oh
just
yeah.
raved about how good he is, it's Jacob deGrom, and I'm assuming that's who you went with.
Oh yeah. To go all the way.
Yeah, the GOAT. All right. Oakland A's. This was a bit closer, but two of their really good players had down. A lot of their guys had down years, I'm still going to give it to Matt Chapman, just because he's a very good hitter, and that defense is just absurd.
Oh man.
His
He's more
issue,
fun to watch than Nolan.
yeah,
I
I
don't know
like.
if he's necessarily better, but
I
he's
think
more
he
fun to
is.
watch.
I think he is. No, what I love what I've seen a lot of interviews with him, just because I'm a huge like Matt. He's probably my favorite non-Met, if I'm being honest. He
Oh yeah, I
His
would
arm is
guess.
so good, and he plays so deep. He literally plays in the outfield. It's insane. And also, he makes those. He also plays in playing in Oakland with all that foul ground is
You
like
need to run.
exactly. So, yeah, I'd give the but Matt Chapman is so good. Matt Olson or Marcus Semien were definitely up for discussion last year, but both didn't have great years.
Nah.
I think Jesus Luzardo will eventually be
Oh
up
my
there.
God, he's gonna be so
He's
fun.
gonna be good, but
He and Puck.
yeah,
Ooh.
Puck. Oh yeah.
As long as he stays off the
He
injured
needs to
list
stay
again.
healthy. Yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna give it to Matt Chapman. I'm assuming that's who you went with as well.
I went with Matt Chapman, but I do think that Chris Bassett does deserve a mention because this guy put up a 2.29
Yeah, but it's
ERA.
1 year.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying he got no love for it whatsoever.
That's a good point.
Just
Phil-
giving him a little shout out.
Philadelphia Phillies. I went with Bryce Harper. You could probably either give it to Aaron Nola, JT Realmuto, but I think people. I saw this goddamn TPS man, this shitty sports channel. They decided to talk about like baseball for once, which they almost never do, and they're talking
Oh
about
my
like
God.
guys who like overpaid players, and they're like Bryce Harper isn't quite in the range of outfielders like Mookie Betts, and I'm like, don't say it, don't say it. Aaron Judge, no. That's why I tell him he's overrated. But Bryce Harper's better than Aaron Judge, in my opinion. Value wise, based on contract, hell no. But I don't think Bryce Harper necessarily overpaid because not only is he a great player, he gets butts in the seats. And Bryce Harper at his best is one of like his 2015 year's MVP year was nutty nuts. So yeah, I'm going with Bryce Harper.
Yeah, it was pretty nutty nuts.
Nutty nuts.
Yeah, I mean he's basically just solid defense with a slightly lower level Juan Soto bat. And so yeah, that's who
Which
I
that's
went
still
with.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still phenomenal to an extent. It's just like he's like Brandon Nimmo
He's way
with
better defensively.
power.
No. He's better defensively than he's
Well, I'm saying with the bat.
a lot of people. Okay, yeah, a lot of people. Well, yeah, he walks a ton and he hits for a ton of power, but a lot of people think I know he hits low average, but a lot of people think that he's a bad defender because of his 2018, which was his contract year because he wasn't good then, but he clearly wasn't trying to get hurt before a contract year.
Mm.
So
I don't know. I think it's more. I think not necessarily.
he was up for a Gold Glove last year. He also has a
Yeah,
hose for an arm. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not saying he's a bad defender. I just think in 2018 it wasn't necessarily trying to protect injury because that doesn't really go through your mind when you're running after a ball in the outfield. I think it
Yes,
was more
but
just laziness because that's usually what it is, or maybe he was just getting bad jumps for whatever reason.
maybe I'm in the part that he's not going 100% because he's playing for a contract.
I don't know because I've
Dude, if
never.
13 years and like 350 million is coming, like
Well,
you
I
do
mean, I've
your best
played
to stay
baseball for a
healthy.
long time, and I've never heard anyone say anything like that. Nobody
Yeah, but
tries to
you don't get
protect
paid to
themselves from
play.
injury, huh?
You're not getting paid to play.
That's true, but we all have other commitments that we don't want to get hurt for.
That's true.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So moving on to the Pittsburgh Pirates, this one was kind of tough because the team's so fucking bad. My God, they're awful. Their most well-known players horrific. Freaking Cole Tucker, because he's well known because he's like dating someone famous or whatever. And
He's not even attractive
his
either. I
buddy,
mean,
yeah,
his hair. His
hair,
hair
yeah,
is pirate.
yeah, and and he's like buddies with Cody Bellinger. I don't even know. I went with Brian Hayes though, because when he came up last year, 1.124 OPS in 85
Oh my God, I got
at
scared.
bats.
That's
Like
insane.
that's nutty nuts.
That's very nutty nuts.
But and also there's absolutely no one else to pick. What pick? Like who else you going with? Freaking Kevin Newman, like
Josh
Josh
Bell.
Bell, Brian Reynolds. Like Brian Reynolds last year, yeah, or 2019. But my God, he was bad last year. But
I don't even know where that came from. Like
yeah,
he looked like he was gonna be really good.
I saw Draftnik Marks on a live stream. He was super high on him, but he said when he saw him at batting practice at a Pirates game, he was hitting the ball like super soft, and that could be a big
Oh,
aspect with that. But I'm assuming I know you're a big Cabrian guy. I'm assuming you went with him too.
yeah, damn it. You stole my pick. I was so excited. I thought you were gonna pick somebody
Like
jokingly and
Jamison
just like,
Tyone, yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
like
and then
someone
not me.
good but not amazing, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then you picked Key Brian Hayes, and I was like, this was my steal.
Isn't he also like a stud defender too?
Oh, I thought he was like really bad, to be honest. I
Oh
could be
really?
wrong though.
I'll
Yeah.
look into that. Padres, this was a tough pick. I actually went with Manny Machado just because he has a track record, and Tatis is yet to play a full year, and he kind of cooled off towards the end of last year. It's super close, but I'm giving the edge slightly to Machado. You could also maybe put Mike Clevenger in there, but he's going to be out for the entire year next year. So I went with Machado. Who do you go with?
I went with Machado as well because I mean, I don't like him.
Oh,
He's really
he's redeemed
annoying.
himself for me.
Well, I mean, it's hard to redeem yourself unless you do acts of like fun things. I do
Yep.
like it
No,
when he
well,
flips
because he
back.
hasn't been an asshole recently. He hasn't been playing dirty.
That does, yeah. So I don't necessarily consider him a bad guy in recent memory,
Right.
but I mean, I can't shake that so easy. I'm gonna need a couple more years before I determine him to be a
A
nice and
nice
chill
guy.
man. Yeah.
That's fair. So San Francisco Giants, I'm shocked this guy was this good last year. Brandon Belt had a 1.05015 ERA. I mean, what OPS
You did that same thing with Cabrian Hayes, and I'm flipping
ERA.
out each
Well,
time.
because I we've been talking pitchers, and so that's the
Yeah.
first stat I go to with a pitcher. So, but Brandon Belt was phenomenal last year. 309 average, 425 on base.
Oh
Um,
my.
and I'm pretty sure he's a good defender. I'm not quite
Oh,
sure, but
he's insane. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he kind of went cold for a couple of years, but man, I don't know if it was just like kind of a fluke comeback or if he's really back. But man, Brandon Bell, man, you can't ignore that.
Oh no way. But I kind of just did because I'm going with
Donnie
Mike
Barrels.
Yastrzemski.
Oh, Mike Yastrzemski. Yeah, that's a good pick too. Oh wait,
Yeah,
you're
he
not
was.
going Tyler Rogers?
Well, I mean, he's the elite list. I thought we were doing a second tier ranking for our like
Yeah,
Hall
Mike
of Fame
Brasso won't be
caliber
on this list.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because the term best isn't good enough for him,
Oh, for sure.
seeing as he did finish in the top 10 in strikeouts on the Giants pitching staff last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he did.
So Mike Yastrzemski.
Yep.
Spell Yastrzemski. Don't look it up. Spell it.
All right.
Hold up. Let me hold
Y-A.
up. Let me see if you're correct. This is fun.
All right, yeah. All right.
Yep. Go.
Y-A. Z.
Wrong.
Fuck, it's S-T-R-E-M.
No. S-T. Oh yeah, S-T-R. Yeah, keep going.
Uh, S-T-R-E.
Wrong. It's
What?
Y-A-S Y-S-T-Z or
Oh,
no,
there's the Z.
Z-E-M. It's like Yaz or some shit like that.
Yeah, who knows? They're some like 1950s name.
Yeah. Phenomenal player too though. He had a great year.
Hmm.
And center fielder too, so more value there than first baseman, but he was great too. Um,
Yeah.
Donovan Solano also had a good year, but I'm giving it to Brandon Belt. Mariners, pretty easy. Kyle Lewis. I know he's just a rookie, but there's not really many other guys to pick, and he had a very good year.
Hmm.
Obviously, won Rookie of the Year. Only an 801 OPS, not amazing, but 364 on base is pretty good.
Oh,
And he
that's
plays a great
great.
center field, got speed, and he can be part of
Hmm.
that stud outfield with Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelnick and Taylor Trammell, which I know there's not four outfielders, but those are their four, core Outfield.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to prepare for at least one bust.
Yeah,
So,
which I kind of hope is Kelnick, so we can get him back for cheap.
all right, who knows?
Yeah,
I
I still
went.
haven't gotten over that. God damn it,
Yeah, you're pissed off as hell.
fucking Brody Van Wagenen.
Hop on the Brody wagon.
Yep,
So I went with Kyle Lewis,
yep.
but I think like he and Margo Gonzalez are on the same kind of level last year. Kyle
Yeah,
Lewis is way
Kyler's
more
is a way
exciting.
higher ceiling though.
Yeah, and he's way more exciting to watch.
Oh, obviously.
But shout out to Gonzalez for career strikeout number 420.
Hey, ba da
Yup.
da da da. It's the one and
It's the
only
motherfucking dude.
D-O-double-G,
Dr.
Snoop
Dre,
Dogg.
motherfucker.
Hey. Um, man. All right, moving on. St. Louis Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the most well-rounded players in the league. He had the quote down year, but he was still very good. In 2019, and he was phenomenal last year, 883 OPS. But man, in the playoffs, 1.055, which I know the Cardinals barely played in the playoffs. He only got 13 at bats, but being clutch in the playoffs like that is super important. And he's such a good, well-rounded player, man. He's won Gold Gloves. He can steal bases, hits for
Yeah.
power, hits for average. He's almost like a 5-tool first baseman, if we're being honest.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
And also, the Cardinals are a good team, but I don't think there's anyone particularly close.
No. I was really high on Jack Flaherty, and then he had such a down year.
How was he last year? Was he really that bad?
4.9 ERA, if I remember correctly.
Not
I'm pulling up.
awful, but
And that's pretty bad,
below average.
especially in the
Yeah,
NL
it's not good.
Central.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, moving on to the Tampa Bay Rays. I was kind of reluctant to pick this guy at first, just because I'm like, oh, just because he had a good postseason. But then I looked at his regular season numbers, and I kind of have to go Randy Arozarena. Like the only
Oh,
other
man.
guys that come to mind are like Blake Snell, Brandon Lau, and maybe some of their relievers, Nick Anderson, Diego Castillo, guys like that. But dude, Arozarena in the playoffs, dude, was just unfair.
Yeah, that's the greatest postseason all time, and it's never going to be topped.
377 average, 442 on base, 1.273 OPS or ERA. Sorry, in 77 at bats, 10 home runs.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
And the hits too.
Oh right, yeah, 29.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. I went with Brandon Lau. With respects to Ryan Yarborough, the one person that I would mention that you did not, because while Rosarena was good in the regular season, I mean, he didn't really play more than, I think he played like 4 games.
Something
Or
like
not
that,
even.
yeah.
No, he was making his debut.
Right.
So
No, he played in the regular season.
I could have sworn he was making his first
No,
ever
he
at-bat.
played in the regular season.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did he? Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, well.
he had 64 at bats.
Oh, wow. How did I miss him?
I don't know. He was out with with the Roro, which I've established that's what we're gonna call Corona because
No!
oh, I just said it. Oh, whatever. It's not like we're
We're
getting views
deleting the video.
anyways.
We're starting over
It's
right
not, all
now.
right, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another bum bum bum.
Dun,
All right,
dun, dun.
but yeah, Brandon Lau, stud player too. He can play second and he can play right field too. Like that versatility. And
Uh-huh.
he was phenomenal. He didn't have a very good postseason, but he had that one 3 home run. Was it 2 home run or 3 home run game?
I think it was the 2 home run game. I
Right.
could be. I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, I was either 2 or 3.
It's multi-home run game.
Yeah. So moving on to Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers suck ass. They're terrible. So I went Joey Gallo just because it's high. He has such a high ceiling, and he's got insane power, but he didn't have a very good year last year. He had a bad year last year. 679 OPS, but man, that glove is so good too.
Oh, yeah, and that arm.
Yeah, he just needs to put it together, man. He's only 27. I think he could still yield a huge package in a trade just because he has that ceiling.
Yeah, he just needs to put his life together.
And he can play center field too. I know you want a Gold Glove as a right fielder, but you can still play center field too. So, yeah, Joey Gallo. Not many other
I
guys to
went
pick.
with I went with Lance Lynn just because Gallo fucking sucked and has never really proven to be insane over a very extended period of time. Uh, I mean, obviously, he's still an amazing player with, as you said, that incredibly high ceiling. But I do think we got to give some respect where it's due to Big Daddy Dietrich.
Well,
And
can we count Lance Lynn just because I know we're talking about guys that played on the team last year, but I feel like that's only for guys who haven't signed yet. The fact that Lance Lynn isn't even on the Rangers anymore, I don't know. It feels kind of weird to pick him.
yeah, that is pretty weird. I
If
wasn't
it's
really
not
thinking
Lance
about
Lynn,
that.
who are you picking?
Joey Gallo.
Yeah, that's
Not
what I
Rugi
thought.
Odor. Not
Yeah, he's
Elvis.
terrible.
Yep.
So Blue Jays, this was kind of honestly a hard pick. There were a couple guys I could go with, but I actually
Hmm.
went with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Now, first of all,
Ooh.
Blue Jays fans are idiots because they're saying, "Oh, I don't want Lindor because I don't want to give up Lourdes Gurriel Jr. because Lindor is too old." Well, Lindor is 26, Gurriel's 27. So first of all, do your research.
Yeah.
But 882 OPS. I thought about either Kevin Biggio or Bo Bichette. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. will be good eventually. He just needs to put it together.
He had a
Hall,
791. Yes.
yeah, hit the ball in the air more. But Gurriel's also a very good outfielder too, defensively. So
With the hose.
yeah, good arm too. So yeah, he's part of that young core in Toronto, and he's probably the best player out of the group right now. Or you could give it to Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's had two stud back-to-back years, but I'm gonna give it to Lourdes Gurriel, the good Gurriel.
Guriel. Yes, yes. The nice good. The
Kidding
nice brother.
you, not Yuli, the freaking racist. Well, not really. I'm not gonna call him a racist, but fucking him, the shit he did to you, Darvish, and he's a cheater.
Yeah, yeah. Things aren't looking too bright for the Yuli Gurriel family right now.
Yeah.
I went with Hyun-Jin Ryu because last year he was the best pitcher in the AL East, and he's a soft thrower, so I love him, a lot because something about soft throwers just make me really happy because
Yeah,
they
you
like
got to be very good at pitching to be able to not
yeah,
rely on your stuff being good, but rely
the
on
amount
your,
of control and
control and
precision. Oh my
precision. Exactly.
goodness.
So yeah,
That's probably where, yeah, that's definitely where my love sprouts. Yeah, but Hyun-Jin
why
Ryu
do you
was the
not
best
throw
pitcher
very
in the game.
hard?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't really know how I throw compared to everybody else because I don't necessarily have a radar gun.
Right.
I think I throw slightly above average.
Dude, I was thinking about this. If we ever hit like a subscriber goal, we got to do like a baseball skills thing where I know you're gonna whoop my ass because I don't play baseball, but like a home run derby, Gold Glove competition. So it's like baseball player versus musician. Um, see who wins. When
I'd probably fuck up and everything.
really,
Think
better
too
than
hard.
me. It would just be pure comedy. It would be entertaining. So,
Yeah,
dude, when it
yeah.
gets warm out and we hit a subscriber goal, we got to do that.
Oh, for real.
So, anyways, moving on to the Washington Nationals. Usually, I would probably go with Max Scherzer, but I think Juan Soto's taken over. I think he might be the best. I think of in a couple years or maybe next year. If he had such a good year, he just missed some time with the Roro,
Good
and
catch, good catch.
yep, and with the Roro, and I think he might be the best left-handed hitter in baseball. I think as a hitter, yes, I think his defense needs to improve a bit. But dude, he is so. There's not many guys you fear more than him when he comes up to the plate with that, that confidence and stuff. He's
Oh,
so
that's
good, man.
swagger. Hmm. Well, I'm about to have a pretty big hot take, and when I say that, I mean it's not DJ caliber hot take, but it's pretty hot. I think he and Mike Trout are the two greatest hitters of all time,
Oh,
and this is like no joke
projection.
whatsoever.
It's a bit of projection though, right?
No,
Like if Juan Soto
he's already
retired,
proved it.
if Juan Soto retired right now, he's not a Hall of Famer though because
Oh,
he doesn't have the
obviously.
counting stats. But from a talent perspective, I wouldn't say
Yes.
all time just because like he hasn't played enough. Like he might just he has a very slim possibility of just getting the yips. But no, his talent level is absurd.
His talent level is the
Like
greatest of all time.
for
He's not
his
on steroids.
yeah,
He isn't facing people on steroids.
and also he's so young that like for a young you never see young hitters having the discipline he has,
Yeah,
which I think is the craziest thing about his game.
he's gonna get better,
Yeah,
or at
that's the
least he's
scary
projected.
thing. Like he
Mhm.
just needs to get better defensively, and I think he could probably be the third best. Right now, I think I probably have him like 6 or 5. But dude, he might take Mookie Betts over 2. I don't know if he'd go over Mike Trout, just because that's Mike Trout. But no, I see what you're saying. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing you went with Josh Harrison.
Oh, of course. I love Josh Harrison's game, his versatility and contact ability.
Yep.
It's a must-have in today's game with so many strikeouts and pop-outs, fly balls, and shit
All
like
right,
that.
so I'm assuming you're going Juan Soto with that
Oh my
hot
God, for
take.
sure.
All right, cool, good list, man.